Hello and welcome back to Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. Today we're going to hopefully finish up restoring, renovating, rebuilding the brass tunnel light for our narrowboat Bonnie Mary. In the last video we proved reasonably, to my satisfaction anyway, that we can use the innards of MR16 domestic LED spotlights, 3 of those, and now we've got to put it all back together and get it working. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so plan A. The plate is not mounted. Behind the plate there is some foam stuck to the side of the headlamp shell, and the plate is sitting on that, and as you can see that squishes down. It's this stuff, neoprene foam with adhesive backing, very cheap. You can buy all sorts of sizes, and it sort of holds it in, but you can see if I squish it down, it's still, I hope that's coming out on the camera, there's still a gap around there. It won't go down far enough. I could use thinner foam. I could try just using a few pieces of foam so it'll squish down harder. Not sure. However, I will just take this apart and just show you how I have mounted this. Get this out. That out. So yes, it's just glued in around there and not stuck in terribly well. So back to the drawing board, I think. Right, plan B. I have put a screw through the plate, the nut either side, and this rests on the bottom of the headlamp shell on a bit of this foam stuff just to give it a bit of spring. So it goes in there like that. So these go on here, and the end of this screw is in the way. I shall chop it off. Right, that's those. See if we can get the gasket in. That's where that's stuck to it. Right, well, we'll put the gasket in first. Put the piece of perspex on. Okay, so that is solid. So I think we're about there at that. As to how well it'll seal, I don't know. Shall we try putting this on? Not good. Anyway, that is solid. So what I shall do is chop the end of that screw off because it's a bit in the way, put some paint on the aluminium panel so it looks a bit less like a bit of aluminium, and wire in all the driver boards below, taking these off, and put its power wire back on through the hole, and we should be good to go. And I'll bring you back when I'm a bit nearer this goal. Right, so we're going to reassemble now. I'll just take that off, that was just trying something. And that off. I'm going to try a dry run first. You see, run some black paint on a plate, just makes it look a touch more professional, or a touch professional anyway. Get rid of a few pieces of junk. I've cleaned everything up as best I can. The window and got all the heatsink gloop off the back of there, using surgical spirit, which I just happen to have a bottle of. Does the job, but makes everything smell of hospital, which is not ideal, but there you go. Right, slight non sequitur here because the battery went flat on the camera. However, we're going again, and decided to do for sealing is, having got this stuff, put a ring of this around here, around the inside of there, and then the perspex just squishes against that as it comes down, and that probably won't seal it forever, since nothing seems to seal forever against the Yorkshire elements. But we'll give it a try for now. At the minute I just want to prove the electronics are going to be reliable. Then I'll worry about the sealing it. Push comes to shove, and just put a load of silicone in. So, what do we need to do? I think we need to get the electronics together. That's this lot. So, all these need to come out of here. I don't want these plastic bases. What am I going to do with these? If I chop them off, the wires will come out. Excellent. Right, well that solves that. And the third one. Whoops. Whoops. Catch that one. I'm out. Good. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So, where did I put the wire that these have to go onto? Bag of goodies. I have one wire. Another junk, and I have some TVS diodes just in case there's any horrible spike down comes down the wire to the light, bearing in mind it's probably 10 meters from the battery. One of these hopefully should soak it up without without it blowing the driver boards. So I think we are going to go for, I'm going to reuse that guy. Grab this off here. Oh, discarded stuff. So that needs to go through there, but probably the next job then to do is put this round here, which we're going to use for the seal, rather than trying to put it on when we're fighting around wiring and so forth. Come on. This is hard to do without getting my hands in the way. If I leave it a fraction proud. Just going to check this against here. Yeah, that does. We want to squish that down, so I think that'll be alright. We better doing this so I can see. Come on. Right, we're round. I'm going to cut it off. Try and get this an angle so I can A, see what I'm doing, and you can see what I'm doing. And try and cut it off. That's it, I'm going to try and cut it off and fail. Scissors are rubbish. IKEA, there you go. Try maneuver that into there. Right. Scalpel it off there. Down, and that is just glued to the other piece. Come off. Come on. There we go. And that is Minnie complaining she was outside and wants to be inside. I'll bring you back. Right, so Next we want the like that, the wiring. Come on, has been in here. Come on. That's where it went to. Oh, come on. Get in there. That's us. Try and streamline it a little so it fits through the hole. Ah, there she goes. There she goes. Right. What did I do with connectors here? So I don't think I want all of that. So they were a bit blunt, didn't seem to want to cut. As well as they might, but they seem to be alright. I'm now going to do my usual trick and do that and end up with lots of little bits of wire sticking in the hand. Okay, let's get this on. Just making sure they only go through half the length. There we go. All right. So if we want that there, we want it cutting off about there. And we want to open these up. Positive that way. Okay, get in. There we go. There we go. That's in. Right. We need to put these for these three driver boards in here. Now, because this is quite a big terminal block and these are little wires, if we just stuff them in, they will not clamp down properly and they'll just pull out. So what I propose to do is solder them onto here. Possibly just strip each one back, twist them together, dab some solder on, and then we'll have a sort of 3 times as thick wire, and I guess that will probably be good enough. So, turn the soldering iron on, let that warm up. Whoops. I want to get this job done because there seems to be, for one fairly compact light, there seems to be an awful lot of bits that have generated. These are the best wire strippers I've come across to date. Well, even stand being dropped. KYP? Who they're made by? Don't know, probably says on there, but the inks come off. The only problem with them is when you strip the wire, a bit of insulation tends to stay in the jaws and stop it working the next time, which is why you see me bending it and banging it on the desk like that. Either that or I'm just a complete hooligan. So these are AC. I've got a bridge rectifier on the back, because I think this format of bulb was originally intended for halogen bulbs, which are just a filament and will work off AC, of course. LEDs don't. There's some of this stuff. No, they've come apart again. So I'm going to do one at a time. Does that seem like a plan? Right, here we go. A high-tech disc vise. And off-screen soldering iron. Even more off-screen solder. Oh, not much of that left. And that's Trevor. No, out. Out. Go on. Yep. I don't want you. Okay, here's the second one. Come on. And that's still Trevor. Complaining his food bowl's empty again, I guess. Oh. Covering the camera, lens with flux fumes. So, I think, yeah, we can trim the ends off those. That much and that much. Get rid of the solder. It doesn't matter which way these go in. Get it. Tug test. Seems good. And this one, get in. Good time, tuck test that side. Sounds good. Sounds good. Feels good. And if it feels good, it is good. Or something like that. So, I don't think I need to retain these extra bits of wire. So, I shall remove them. Right, so a convenient capacitor. Put in my little vise. Right, I'm guessing I've used the right colour code and put pink for pink. Where's the one that's still wired up? Double check it, always double check it. So that's that way round, yep, pink towards the diode there. Pink and pink. Oh, solder line. Solder. Ow. Yep. Wait for the solder to solidify. There we go. And as ever, soldered that on and realised it needs to be through the hole in the plate. Ho hum, well, I tell you what, I'll save you having to watch me to take that off again. Solder it on through the hole and then do two more, and I'll bring you back when I've done. So they are all three on. So I think we need at this point to do a sanity check. Check everything is working, and we need plastic bag, will do, just to make sure the boards, and I know you can't see, don't short together. Goodness knows what that'll do. We're good. We're good. Right, so we want the leads. That's the positive lead from the power supply, and that's the negative lead. We'll turn the voltage right down. So remove that. Get rid of that, we don't need that anymore. Turn her on and bring the voltage up gradually. Checking for smoke and excessive current draw. Well, no current draw. No. Ugh. Get rid of these little yellow leads, they are rubbish. Just going to get a pair of tweezers or something. Pliers will do. So I can put them across there. This just shorts the power supply. Ah, there we go. Turn the current limit down to 0.5 amp. So we're getting power as far as there. That's the worry. Why are we getting power, no power any further? That is a worry. See, oh, we're not on many volts, that's why. Ah, okay. That's good. Alright, gently tip that back. No, you can't. Take my word for it, there are 3 lots of LEDs on. So we're going to wind that out. That's bright. So there we go, about 0.5 amp at 12 volts. That's quite a lot of power to be putting into LEDs, but they are bright. Okay, yes, you can see that, can't you? Well, adjust the camera slightly. There we go. Okay, so far so good. So next we need my screw that pushes it up off the back of the shell here, which I can't find, so what I'm going to do is turn the camera off and have a hunt. Okay, so here we have the screw and 2 nuts. Which space, can't see because of my hand space, the aluminium plate up off the back of the headlamp shell, so we'll get rid of that crash and that. We will put that in there like that, give it a tweak, and shall we see, so it's just a dry run assembled, so I know none of these are protected against shorting against any of the others. Don't worry about that in a minute. Okay. So we assemble these three lens arrangements. Like that. That's a bit of a... Hopefully, when the heatsink grease is on there, it'll be sticky enough to hold those in place, and I have now lost... Oh, here it is. Window, I suppose we call it a window there. So, yep. So that goes there. Small screwdriver to try and lost a bit off the corner of that one. Things rattling about on the desk. Oh, good. Well, in fact, that one. Oh dear. It's got cracked. Broken. Yep, broken. Never mind, it'll do for a dry run. I was just wondering whether I should attach these three to the window so that is not far away. Is that down on the... Okay, sorry, it's out of shot because I'm peering at what I'm doing, not at the... Well, they're not straight and that one is broken. But I reckon that is good. That's how it's going together. Should we? No, we shouldn't, because they're all flopping around in there and probably shorted together. No, I was going to suggest we try to power it up, but let's not. Ah, come off. These threads are shot on here. There we go, crash. Okay, yes, I think I am going to well, I'm going to have to make another good one of these. Replace the broken one, and I might just glue those to the window somehow. So the job as ever becomes a little longer, and I think I will turn you off while I go and make another one of these to replace this broken one. Advantage of having 4 lights, I should have another unmodified one. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, so what I propose to do is stick these down to here using double-sided tape. These marks are on the other side, so I can take these off with a bit of alcohol. And that's it. So I've marked 2, 3, 4 areas that I can double-sided tape. Is that going to work? Don't know. I just might do those 3. Doesn't have to hold it with any strength, because normally when it's assembled it's all pressed together. Right. I've also zoomed you in so you can see what I'm doing, but it does mean if I'm not careful you'll end up not looking at what I'm doing. Where's that gone? Can you see that? Not really. Oh well. Check that. See, what I don't want to happen is for it to obscure the LEDs. I think we're alright. And it's transparent anyway. When the backing's off, I've got my decent scissors out as well. So all will be well. It's just a bit wide. I'm just going to, and hopefully, shave the edges off that. Oh, that worked alright. That side would. Oh, come on. Got it. Let's see. Mostly transparent tape against clear plastic. Right. Should we pull the backing off here, hopefully? This is usually where the tape decides to, still on the screen, the tape decides to stick to the backing more than the job. Right, I'm going to have to peer at that under the magnifier. Okay, did that out of shot because I wanted to get up close and personal, whatever the phrase is. So that I've just dropped. Almost hope that's right. Oh, that's on nicely. No, I'm not trying to stick the broken one down. There we go. That looks good. Right, piece of tissue. Hospital smell. Just as well, YouTube. Haven't found a way of implementing smells. You'd all have turned off. Okay. So, we have another go at putting it together. That's alright. Just the trouble now is so I think assemble it out. Are we still looking at it? We are. Right. That's why we're having a dry run. So I need, that's 2 of them. Come on. Oh, we're off the screen. That's because okay, I'd like to say that was easy. So, I am going to tape up these driver boards, and then we're going to have, well, I'm going to put her in, she won't go in, come on. Just going to get that. So it's the next day, and I turned the camera off and I was fighting this and I gave up in the end for the day, because it was impossible to assemble. So what I've decided to do, firstly, as you can see, I've stuck these onto here with bits of, probably just see that, double-sided tape, so they're in place. And I'm proposing to stick those, this is where I'm going to regret taking the camera out of the stand, those into the back of those, which I can't do. No, you appreciate my problems. Anyway, these, the LED plates into the back of the lenses, I shall glue in with super glue, only I can't find any super glue. So that's holding the job up. And this, what I propose to do is drill a hole in the middle of there and put this screw in from the other end, and a nut in here and a nut on the back. Point the camera. So then this is fixed in place in there pretty securely, and I can get a nice brass stone nut for the back of there if I want to make it look vintage. So that is the story so far, and I propose to just basically get on and do that, and then bring you back for the final assembly. Okay, so here we are with the LED lights super glued to the lenses, and also forgot to mention, had to ditch this connector because it was taking up too much space, and these are just soldered, and didn't show you that. So shall we do now what should be a final dry run, So first the plate. We're going to line this screw up. There we go, it's lined up. Get it through that hole. No, the nut I was using. Where is the nutter? That's the nut I was using. So we'll just nip that up for now. So I'm going to persuade these 3 lengths of wire to go back through their holes. Oh, go on. It's fighting me every inch of the way, this job. So we're down, but I would say we're far too high. We can see it's about a millimetre gap there, and that's not going down any further. So we need to just wondering, I've got to I might be able to pull it out as a unit and take this up again. Shove that through, poke it through the last bit of the way. Okay. So that wants to go, be a turnout. I'm persuaded. Come on. Let's see if I can poke this. No, I can't. Get in. There we go. That got it. No, still not going to sit down on the seal. Another turn or so. Of course, I now have no spring, as it were, in here, so I have to get this exactly right. Still not quite down on the seal, another turn or so. Oh, a bit more. That, I reckon, is it. I am just going to nip it down hand tight and check the thing still works. Yep, still works. Right. So, are we going for the big one, the final assembly? So, we're going to lift this off here. Oh no. we are going to pull this out. So what I want to do, what we're looking, is get heatsink compound on the back of these plates, put them down on there without smearing it round everywhere. But to be honest, if it gets smeared around everywhere, so be it. So, if I just say dog chewed. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to have to turn you off and see what's the matter with the dog. So the idea is smear some heat shrink grease on the back of these LED plates without getting it absolutely everywhere. What do you reckon? Not totally optimistic. Oh yeah, getting it everywhere. I don't know. Yeah, it's going on a flat surface. Bit more, perhaps. Yeah. Right, there's the tissue. And try and get it's sticky gungy stuff. Okay, so now we those back there. That's on there. On the outside or the inside. Okay, looking good so far. So we've got to try and get this screw through here, which we have. Now, oh well, the light doesn't come through that bit. Right, there we go. So, we're going to do a last and final sanity check. Yep, that's probably completely blinding the camera. So now we need to get this down on here. Now these fine threads in here and these fine threads on here don't match up 100% brilliantly, and if you screw it all the way down it'll continue turning and the threads just jump. So I thought I would try some PTFE tape as used by plumbers and put a piece of that around and see if that just fills the threads up enough. And it works. So I should have tried this before doing final assembly. However, I'm trying it now. Doesn't feel a lot better. No, it's jumping still. Well, that, we're going to leave it at that, I think. We have a look. Zoom her in. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it works, I hope. Do a last sanity check. Yeah, it works. I'm trying to point it straight at the camera. Yeah. So, we shall try it on the boat in the spring. It's getting to the autumn now. The boating season has really finished. So, it's been a bit of a fight, I think, to get this going, it has to be said. Especially on this last video. But we're done, so it's time to move on to another project. So for now, it's goodbye from Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. Subscribe if you like us. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you've got anything to say. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.